Hello, my name is Stephanie, and this is Edible Thoughts Makes. This channel is where I share my works in progress, finished projects, things I'm cooking up, books I'm reading, funny things the kids say, and basically things that inspire me every day. I hope that as you watch this episode and the previous episodes, you will find some inspiration along the way. Today, I would like to share with you a finished project actually from the summer, but since I started my channel in the late fall, I would like to take some time to go back to some of my projects from this summer to share with you my tips about them and things I liked, and maybe they will inspire you to make them as well. So this project is the Golden Horizon sweater. It is the sweater that I am wearing. The sweater is by Tina Tay, and it is classified as an intermediate level sweater. It is knit top down in the round, and it is seamless. There's a scoop neck. There are some short rows. You will learn slip stitches in the color work. What is really neat about the stripes is that they start closer together and they get farther and farther apart and then back closer together in the sleeves. It is knit in DK weight yarn, my favorite yarn weight for sweaters. You use US 6 or 4.0 millimeter needles. It is optional to use 1 or 2 sizes down in needles for the ribbing along the neckline, along your cuffs, along the bottom ribbing of your sweater. I chose to do just 1 size down, and I'll talk a little bit about it later, but I could have done 2 sizes down if I wanted to. Sizing is pretty inclusive. There are 9 sizes total. The yarn weight estimates and yardage estimates are listed on the pattern page in Ravelry. I ended up using significantly less yardage for the main color and the contrast color, so I had enough left over. And note that some of that difference may just be the type of yarn I used. So I did still use DK weight yarn. However, just between different kinds of yarn, if it's fiber content, if it's brand, or anything like that, it can change the amount of yardage that you may use or may not use compared to a pattern. I didn't do any modifications except for the ribbing. I used 1 size down in needles than the pattern stated, and then because my neckline was pretty wide, I ended up using a crochet hook and slip stitching. You can hardly see it, but I slip stitched along the edge to bring it in just a little bit, so it didn't fall off my shoulders. So this sweater I test knit this sweater for Tina back in July, and it took me about 3 to 4 weeks to finish leisurely. I made the size 2, so 1 size up from the smallest in the pattern. Okay, I use this heathered blue for the main color, and then I use this single ply speckled for the contrast. I liked this color here for the speckles because it was going against a heathered solid, and the blues complemented each other. Now, even while I was making the sweater, I kept thinking of all these exciting color combinations. Or you could do a black sweater with white, or you could do a white sweater with black lines, and that would look like a musical score, which would be really cool. Neons would be awesome. The test knitters that Tina had were so much fun to talk to as we were all knitting together, but also just to see everybody's color combinations. There were some indie dyers in the group that used their own yarns, and that was really cool to see. Not everybody used 100% wool. I think there was a silk blend in there too, so it was kind of shiny and it was so drapey. So you can take a look at all of those on the Ravelry page. Tina has the different photos of people of different sizes, wearing different sizes that they've knit, and if you click on the project tab, then you can see everybody who has made the project and linked to the pattern. So it was really fun. The details I really enjoyed in this pattern. I like the scoop neck. I really like how the edges use the contrast yarn. I feel like most sweaters I make, just even if there's color work involved, it just uses the main color from the get-go for like all of the edging. I really like the bottom hemline. I don't know if you can see it there. It's curved in the front and in the back, so it's shorter than on the sides and longer in the front and the back. That's the first time I've done a hemline like that. And then the back is not higher than the front. The back, the scoop neck is the same in the front and the back. So it makes for a really nice open neckline. Now something to note is that when you're knitting it, because of the stripes, it shrinks up the yarn a little bit. So then you might think, oh no, my sleeves are going to be like this short by the time you finish the pattern. Knit a little bit longer if you just know you have longer arms than what most patterns write for. But when you block it, the yarns relax, as they do once they're wet blocked, and the sleeve grows. So my sleeves hit right about the wrist or right above the wrist if I'm sticking my arms out. So if I wanted to, I probably could have done just a little bit longer, but honestly, it's very comfortable and it doesn't bother me, and most of the time I'm like pulling my sleeves up anyway. But same with the body length. So as you're making it and you're trying it on, you might think, uh-oh, this body length is not gonna work for me. There are parts in the pattern that Tina writes in, this is a good part to now lengthen, and that's really helpful. I did not do that. Once I blocked, it came out to the length that I liked, so that was just fine for me. So I hope you give this pattern a try. I found it really fun to make, and it's really a nice basic sweater that you can dress up, dress down. I like to wear it with a collared shirt under, but since I cinched in the neckline more, if I didn't want to wear it with a collared shirt underneath, it would probably be fine. You can wear it with jeans, you can wear it with shorts, sweater and shorts, sure. You could wear it with leggings or whatever you're comfortable wearing. Something fun you can do, it is December, so if you're still looking for a gift, maybe for a maker in your life, maybe they use Ravelry, maybe they have a really long queue list, and maybe there's some patterns that they've checked to be on their wish list. So there's this little box people can check. Maybe they haven't purchased the pattern yet, but it's on their wish list. Well, maybe you could go through that list. I think they're public, as long as you have a Ravelry account. Then you can purchase that pattern for them. And it's a win-win because the designer gets paid, your friend gets a pattern, and you check off a gift on your wish list. So something to consider if you are still looking for gifts for any makers in your life. So cheers to being creative. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of December. Take care.